If you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or someone waiting for your citizenship application to be approved, you may have seen some alarming headlines this week about citizenship delays being confirmed across the country. And I know that can feel scary. You might be wondering if your application is stuck, if something went wrong, or if there's a new rule that's going to affect you. My name is Piper, and I want to be very clear with you right from the start. My goal today is not to scare you. My goal is to explain what is actually happening, who this affects, and what you should know so that you can feel informed and calm, not anxious. I'm here to walk you through this step by step, in plain language, so that by the end of this video, you will understand the truth and not the panic. So take a breath, settle in, and let's talk about what's really going on. Before we begin, I want to remind you that I am not a lawyer. I am not a government official. I am not affiliated with USCIS or any immigration agency. Everything I share with you today is for informational and educational purposes only. This is not legal advice. If you have a specific situation or concern about your own case, I always encourage you to speak with a qualified immigration attorney who can look at your documents and give you personalized guidance. What I offer here is clarity, context, and calm explanation based on publicly available information. So let's start with what actually happened this week. Reports have been circulating that USCIS, the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, has confirmed that there are delays in processing naturalization applications. Now, the word confirmed makes it sound like this is breaking news, like something suddenly went wrong. But here's the reality. Processing delays at USCIS are not new. They have been happening for years. In fact, if you've been following immigration news at all over the past several years, you know that wait times for interviews, approvals, and decisions have been longer than they used to be. What happened this week is not that a brand new problem was created. What happened is that USCIS publicly acknowledged, in updated processing time estimates, that naturalization cases are taking longer than the standard 6 to 9 months that they used to aim for. In some field offices, applicants are waiting 12 months, 15 months, or even longer for their interview to be scheduled. This acknowledgement is what the headlines are calling confirmed delays. But I want you to understand something very important. This does not mean your case is in danger. This does not mean that approvals have stopped. This does not mean that there is a freeze or a new restriction. What it means is that the system is slower right now, and that's frustrating, but it's not a crisis for most people. Let me explain who this applies to. If you are a green card holder who has applied for naturalization, meaning you filed your Form N-400 to become a U.S. citizen, and you are still waiting for your interview or your oath ceremony, then yes, you are part of the group experiencing these delays. If you applied months ago and haven't heard anything, or if your case status online hasn't changed in a long time, this is likely why. The system is backlogged. There are more applications than there are officers available to process them. There are staffing issues. There are administrative backlogs that built up over the past few years, especially during the pandemic, and those backlogs have not fully cleared. So if you're waiting, you are not alone, and your case is not lost or forgotten. It is simply in a very long line. Now let me be very clear about who this does not apply to. If you are already a U.S. citizen, whether you were born here or you were naturalized years ago, this does not affect you. Your citizenship is not in question. Your status is not being delayed or reviewed. You are fine. If you are a green card holder but you have not yet applied for citizenship, this also does not directly affect you right now. You can still apply whenever you're ready and eligible. The delays are happening after you apply, not before. If you are waiting for a green card, not citizenship, this is a separate process. And while green card processing also has delays, today's topic is specifically about naturalization. So please don't confuse the two. And if you are a U.S. citizen by birth, meaning you were born in the United States, nothing about this changes your status at all. You are not part of any review, delay, or concern. This is purely about people who have applied to become citizens and are waiting for the government to process their applications. Now I want to address some of the myths and misunderstandings that I've been seeing in the comments and in other videos. Some people are saying that citizenship is being taken away. That is not true. Some people are saying that USCIS is denying more cases than before. There is no evidence of that. What we are talking about here is a delay in processing, not a change in approval standards. The requirements for naturalization have not changed. You still need to have been a lawful permanent resident for the required number of years. You still need to show good moral character. You still need to pass the English and civics test, unless you qualify for an exemption. You still need to demonstrate that you understand the responsibilities of citizenship. None of that has changed. What has changed is how long it takes for USCIS to schedule your interview and make a decision. That is a logistical problem, not a legal one. Let me also talk about something that causes a lot of confusion, and that is the difference between a delay and a denial. A delay means your case is still pending. It is still being worked on, even if it feels like nothing is happening. A denial means that USCIS reviewed your case and decided you do not qualify for citizenship, and they give you a written reason why. Denials are serious, and they usually happen for specific reasons, such as failing to meet the residency requirement, failing the test multiple times without qualifying for an exemption, or having something in your background that affects your eligibility, such as certain criminal convictions or immigration violations. But denials are not common for people who meet the basic requirements and who apply honestly. Most people who apply for citizenship do get approved. It just takes longer now than it used to. So if you are waiting and you haven't been denied, that is actually a good sign. It means your case is moving, even if it's moving slowly. I also want to talk about something that sometimes worries people, and that is whether mistakes on their application can cause delays or denials. The truth is, yes, mistakes can slow things down. If you accidentally wrote the wrong date, or forgot to list a trip you took outside the country, or didn't include a middle name correctly, USCIS may send you a request for evidence, which is called an RFE, asking you to clarify or correct the information. This can add weeks or months to your case. But honest mistakes are not the same as fraud. If you made a mistake and you correct it when asked, that is not going to result in denial or deportation. USCIS understands that people make errors. What they are looking for is intentional deception, which is very different. If someone lied about their criminal history, or lied about being married for a green card, or gave false information to hide something serious, that is fraud, and that can lead to denial and even removal proceedings. But if you are honest, if you respond to any requests, if you show up to your interview prepared, you should not be afraid of a small mistake. Now let's talk about what you should do if you are one of the people waiting. First, take a breath. I know it's hard. I know you want to move forward with your life. I know you may have plans that depend on becoming a citizen, like traveling with a U.S. passport, sponsoring a family member, voting, or just having the peace of mind that comes with citizenship. And I know that waiting feels unfair, especially when you've done everything right. But the reality is that immigration is slow right now, and there is no way to speed it up for most people. What you can do is check your case status online regularly. You can create an account on the USCIS website and track your application. If your case has been pending for much longer than the processing times listed for your field office, you can submit an inquiry through the USCIS Contact Center, or even schedule an InfoPass appointment if that option is available. You can also reach out to your local congressperson's office. Many congressional offices have staff who help constituents with federal agencies, including USCIS and sometimes they can help you get an update or move your case along if it has been stuck for an unusually long time. But please understand that even with congressional help, there are no guarantees. The system is simply overwhelmed right now. What you should not do is panic. You should not assume your case is in trouble just because it's taking a long time. You should not pay money to anyone who promises they can speed up your case, because that is usually a scam. You should not stop checking your mail or your online account, because USCIS will send you notices. And if you miss your interview appointment, that can cause serious problems. And you should not give up. I know it's frustrating, but citizenship is worth the wait, and most people who apply do eventually get approved. Let me also give you some broader context about what is happening in the immigration system right now, because I think it helps to understand the bigger picture. Over the past few years, USCIS has faced a lot of challenges. During the pandemic, offices were closed or operating at reduced capacity. Interviews were delayed. Oath ceremonies were postponed. Even though things have reopened, the backlog that was created during that time is still being worked through. On top of that, there have been changes in policy, changes in leadership, and changes in funding that have affected how quickly cases move. There have also been increases in the number of people applying for immigration benefits, including green cards, work permits, travel documents, and citizenship. All of this adds up to a system that is slower than it should be. And I want to be honest with you. This is not something that will be fixed overnight. It will take time, funding, and probably policy changes to bring processing times back down to where they used to be. But that doesn't mean the system is broken beyond repair. It just means that right now, patience is required. I also want to talk to those of you who are green card holders but haven't applied for citizenship yet. You might be wondering if you should wait or if you should apply now. My general advice, and again, this is not legal advice, is that if you are eligible and you want to become a citizen, you should apply. Yes, there are delays, but delays exist whether you apply today or a year from now. And the sooner you apply, the sooner you get in line. Waiting won't make the system faster. It will just delay your own process even more. Of course, if you're not sure you meet the requirements, or if you have concerns about your background, then yes, talk to a lawyer first. But if you know you're eligible, don't let fear of delays stop you from moving forward. Now I want to take a moment to speak to the emotional side of this, because I know that immigration is not just paperwork. It's your life, it's your family, it's your future. And when you're waiting for something as important as citizenship, every day can feel heavy. You might feel anxious. You might feel like you're in limbo. You might feel like everyone else is getting approved except you. And I want you to know that those feelings are completely valid. You are not wrong for feeling frustrated. You are not wrong for wanting answers. You are not wrong for being tired of waiting. But I also want to remind you that you are not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the same position as you right now, and most of them will get through this process successfully. You are part of a system that is slow, but it is not a system that is designed to deny you. It is designed to process you, and it will, even if it takes longer than you hoped. So let me bring all of this together. The headline that says "Seniors Beware Citizenship Delays Confirmed This Week" sounds alarming, and I understand why it got your attention. But the truth is much less dramatic. What was confirmed this week is something that people who follow immigration news already knew. Naturalization applications are taking longer to process than they used to. This is not a new law. This is not a new restriction. This is not a reason to panic. This is a backlog, and backlogs are frustrating, but they are not permanent. If you are waiting for your citizenship interview or decision, your case is still active. You are still in the system. You will still get your chance. It's just taking longer than it should, and I'm sorry for that, but it doesn't mean you're in danger. If you are already a U.S. citizen, this doesn't affect you at all. If you haven't applied yet, you can still apply, and you should if you're ready. And if you're confused or concerned, talk to a lawyer, reach out to USCIS, check your case status, and stay informed. But do not let fear control you. The immigration system is slow, but it is structured, it is documented, and it does move forward. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I know that immigration topics can be stressful, and I really appreciate you taking the time to get the full story instead of just reacting to a headline. If you found this helpful, I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what other topics you'd like me to cover. And if you have questions, feel free to share them. I read the comments, and I try to address common concerns in future videos. Please remember to stay calm, stay informed, and trust that even though the process is slow, you are moving in the right direction. You've got this. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.